What is up, guys? And we are back after a week off. Ace is will be joining us in a few weeks, hopefully. He's probably out recruiting or interviewing with ESPN or another podcast. Who knows what he's doing? But we have been silent lately. We had another death in the family in Klein's Adams house. Unfortunately, my wife's uncle passed away, and we'll be going to a viewing tomorrow.
That when it is, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. So it's been tough, dealing with stuff like that. It's never easy, but we'll get through it. You've been seeing too much of it. Saw the sad story of Dwayne Haskins, and they still aren't sure what's going on with him. Like they don't even know if his vehicle was there. They don't know why. There was a witness that actually saw him, had called 911 before he got hit. That actually saw the whole thing.
Wow. Yeah, that was a really weird. It's a tragic thing. When I heard that, I texted. We know Gibby. Gibby's a good friend of ours, and he's a big Pittsburgh fan. And I saw the video of Chase Claypool crying. He was like, "Man, I was just with you." They were all down there practicing together.
In your neighborhood, Boca Raton.
Yeah, it was like maybe 10, 15. It wasn't even that far from me. That's so sad. I pray. Send prayers to his family. I mean, 24 years old. I don't know the situation that happened. Obviously, they said he ran out of gas. He tried to get over the highway to get somewhere, but man, I have no idea.
But that's
sad, though.
They said there's not going to be any more updates now for the next 90 days until the investigation is over. But the thing is like it was early in the morning. I guess it's an 8-lane highway, 4 on each side. The average speed limit there is 65. There's
most people are doing 70 to 80 on that highway.
And there's like a lot of places a lot of those places like are elevated, so you have to jump fences or something. So, the things, it's just weird. I mean, it's sad to hear that, a 24-year-old kid, his life is over before it even really gets started. And we just had that up here. We had in Philadelphia a few months back. They had down by the airport, it's a similar situation, I-95. They had a report of a guy. Now, this is the kicker. These 2 state cops had this woman pulled over who was under the influence. They got another call of a pedestrian walking on the highway in the middle of the road. So they let her go, okay? And they speed ahead and go get this guy. Well, they have their SUV parked across the highway, not off the side of the road. It's across the highway. They're getting the guy into custody. They got him on the ground, and they're handcuffing him. They get hit by a drunk driver. The drunk driver that hit them was the woman they just let go.
Wow.
Killed all 3 of them instantly. They got hit so hard that it threw them across the median into oncoming traffic. That's how bad they got hit.
That's crazy. There's also that video going around of that guy that tractor trailer, he fell asleep and he sideswiped 2 people that were pulled over on the side of the road. And he said that he tried blaming that he had a flat tire, but not knowing that they had video cameras in the truck. Clear as day, see him fall asleep and just wipes these people out.
It's just sad, and to see death like that, the guy was just going to get another opportunity. And
he had a good opportunity at Pittsburgh, man. He really did. And you saw throughout the whole NFL world, man, people just... That was shocking. 24, man. You don't wish death upon anybody, but man, 24 years old, whole life ahead of him.
And just like that, it's gone. But if you're a believer, it's God's plan.
I think he was a believer too, which is
I'm talking about our listeners.
Still sad.
If you're a believer, you realize that we are going to die one day. We can't cheat death. God decides when we go. Maybe he did something that his time here was done. God uses us all in weird ways, and he does take his angels home. So it's just sad. It's tough to see, but
it is sad. It's weird, right? Moving on from this,
but why
last time that we did a podcast, just me and you?
Yeah.
It's been a long time. It feels a little weird. Ace isn't here. Ace is taking a little hiatus. He's gonna take weeks off. Getting my little setup. I'm still getting used to my setup, but I try and decorate a little bit with my book in the background. A little body armor. Maybe they'll sponsor us.
Looks like you need a little sunblock on that nose there, boy. And I could tell you're wearing sunglasses. Well, you got the The raccoon eyes going
Yeah,
on, huh?
I do. Man, I was standing on the third floor today on the roof of the hotel. 8 hours we were grinding away at some steel. My whole face was black by the time I got out of there.
Mm. Well, speaking of the
But
NFL,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
going to get into this podcast because you'll get sidetracked. And next we'll be talking about you going to the beach or to the pool every day. But the Washington Commanders are in trouble, as everyone knows. Congress is actually looking into them, and they actually just
what's the latest news? You gonna see the latest news? I think something else came out.
The Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder has engaged in a troubling, long-running, and potential unlawful pattern of financial conduct. They allegedly involved withholding of $5 million in refundable deposits for season ticket holders, and also hiding money that was supposed to be shared among NFL owners, according to the letter from the House committee. Daniel Snyder's in trouble. Between all the sex tapes and all
there's a lot of people.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All the stuff that was going on with the cheerleaders and the female employees that were there and his male employees, the brotherhood that they have down there of him supporting them and keeping them out of trouble. I think the NFL is finally going to have enough of Snyder and say, you know what, you're going to sell your team now.
I think that a lot of people believe it's the last domino that will fall. He had his wife eventually become like the spokesman or something in the team to make him look a little better the past couple of years. There's just a lot of shady stuff, especially when the government is now looking into your team. That especially if you're the NFL, like you got to think, all right, this looks bad on us. All right, the government's looking into it. I mean, they were. The one report came out that they had 2 books that they were keeping for taxes, I think it was. And I heard one person was saying that as an accountant, like that's so hard to do by itself. The one thing that's weird to me is the whole he was holding money that the owners share money.
Well, yeah.
So I don't know if you know anything about this. I don't know really about any of the business side, but like I heard Pat McAfee talking about how like I don't even get, like I didn't understand, like if I'm an owner I have to share money with other owners.
I think it's almost like baseball, and I could be totally wrong. We would need an expert on here. Like when like teams go over to luxury cap or get close to the cap, they have to give money to the smaller organizations like the Pittsburghs, the Kansas Cities, and that's why you don't ever see those teams spending money because they're receiving free money,
though.
And they're always getting draft picks. So they're changing that. Now, as far as the NFL goes, it could be the same thing where if teams are close to the luxury tax or whatever, they share money. It's because let's face it, Washington hasn't been good in a while. I mean, the playoffs once in how many years now? But the thing is it's almost like money laundering. How they were moving money around and
hiding a lot of money. That's what it comes down to. They're hiding a lot of money. That's shady.
Yeah, and inside the facility, the money was known as juice. It was all. It's gonna come a point now where someone's gonna go to jail because now you're messing with money. You're messing with ticket season holder money. Someone's gonna go to jail, and Daniel Snyder's gonna lose his team.
Yeah, like I said, man, when the government gets involved in this case now, that looks bad, especially the NFL. There needs to be a point where it's like, all right, especially as owners, we need to get him out. I don't know. I wonder what that process looks like. Like, if the NFL's like, listen, you guys sell your team. I wonder what that process looks like. I think at this point, I think it'd be a good start, right? You got some good young talent.
They're going to be a good team.
They got a quarterback, didn't they? Didn't they get a quarterback?
They have Wentz.
That's right. They got Wentz, right? You're looking to restart with Wentz. You got Chase Young. You got McLaurin. You got new uniforms. You officially got your name. Get a new owner in there.
Yeah, but I'm sure this will come down fast. I'm sure that Roger Goodell is sick of having this black guy on the shield, and it's coming from the same team over and over again. And I think that's exactly why John Gruden, people were releasing information on John Gruden is because they wanted to take all the vision off of Washington, and that's why they threw John Gruden under the bus. I guarantee you, if people dig deep, you're going to see a lot of this in all the organizations in football, a lot of shady crap. I mean, it's billionaires making money off of billions. So, they're always looking, when you have that love of that money, man, you just can never have enough of it. So I'm sure they're finding ways to make more. And
you've seen a lot of players lately too talk about the culture and environment there and how bad it was. Alex Smith was one of those guys that came out and talked about how it was just a terrible environment, terrible situation. But I mean, if you're a player and you're a fan, like at what point is it like, all right, enough is enough? Like this is making our franchise look terrible.
But
like I was a Saints fan, and then all this stuff was coming out, like all, especially like the whole, was it sexual assault or something that happened with him too that they were talking about. Like,
yeah.
At one point, I'd be like, all right, like I don't want this guy to be my owner.
But, you start to feel more for the players now when you read stories about like this, and then you start thinking, you know what, maybe these players should grab as much money as they can from these guys, because at the end of the day, it almost seems like you're just a product and they don't really care about you. And once you're a broken product, you're gone, and they're not going to care two shits about you. You're going to fill your spot with somebody else. So at the end of the day, you start feeling, when these guys get these higher contracts, you start feeling, you know what, good for them. Good for them.
Yeah. You see, in baseball, I think it was Anthony Rizzo. I don't know if it was towards Judge or another player, but he said to somebody, "There's no loyalty in this business."
No,
and that was weird to see from him, because he's such a friendly, good, bubbly guy that you see in baseball all the time. And for him to say that, you're like, man, I mean, hey, the guy wanted to be a lifelong Cub, and they traded him. So I mean, I think you really are seeing a side of the players where it's like, all right, I want as much money as I can collect. If I get to a World Series, if I get to a Super Bowl, yippee-ki-yay, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, cool, that'd be great.
See, but I'm getting over the whole aggravation of the Cowboys. The off season, it drives me nuts anymore. And then you see, like, in the news what's going on with these organizations, Jerry Jones and his whole, love child that he has out there now. And it's just, at the end of the day, as a diehard fan, you just get so caught up in it, and you just want the best for your team. It's the same thing every year. You want to win a division. You want to go to the playoffs. You want to win a Super Bowl. As bad as your team can be, those are the same things you hope for every year. And
every year.
It just seems like the Cowboys, for me, are going nowhere. They just lost another receiver. Tomorrow they have...
You always have hope. Always have hope.
I know, but tomorrow they have a big press conference coming, so I'm sure Jerry Jones is going to be there, so I'm sure he's made some kind of financial deal again to better himself and his organization, but not the players. And we'll see tomorrow.
Hey, you saw me last year when the Saints had so many injuries. I still had hope for the Super Bowl. It's how you are as a fan, no matter how bad your team looks. Just to like, you know what? That's 2 games we won. Maybe we go to the Super Bowl. Hey, let me ask you a question real quick. I was thinking about this the other day. So you have the Browns, right? As a franchise that they offered Watson like what, $250 million. It was like all guaranteed for a quarterback that hasn't played in a year and a half, right? Do you think that when a superstar becomes a free agent or is about to get a contract extension, that the finalized deal can be vetoed by other owners? And here's why, right? So you have a lot of teams that are upset now because you have quarterbacks like Joe Burrow, Herbert. These guys are going to be free agents, like Lamar. Lamar's smart for saying that right now, right? Because he's an MVP winner.
Mm-hmm.
What has Deshaun done? And Deshaun hasn't played in a year and a half, and he's dealing with these civil suits, right? And you have a team that just offered him $250 million. If I'm another owner for another franchise, I'm furious, right? Because now you're going to have a team like, say, just for instance, I don't think this will happen, but the Bengals, if you're Joe Burrow, you're like, well, I was just at a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, my first year in the league, because I was injured my first year. That guy hasn't done anything in his career besides go to 3 Pro Bowls and put up great numbers. I want that money.
We jumped from $40 million. We have like 5 guys in the $40 million range. We're going to surpass that and go right into the 50s. Aaron Rodgers opened that door. Now you're going to see everybody hitting that market. That market is going to be insane.
Even Aaron Rodgers wasn't too bad. Like, sure, Aaron Rodgers was high, but for the Browns to come out of nowhere and offer a guy that hasn't played in a year $250 million, like, I feel like that screwed everybody.
Well, the NFL is out of control in a whole. And at the end of the day, you're right. You're going to see all these quarterbacks getting big money. Small market organizations aren't going to be able to afford these quarterbacks. You're not going to see. They're going to be following my plan. Every 5 years, draft another quarterback because you can stay under that rookie contract. But you're absolutely right. There has to come a point where you have to draw the line, because in the beginning of the season, we looked at Amari Cooper's contract was one of the highest in football for receivers. Now it's not. I mean, you got guys making $23, $26, $25 million a year now at receiver. Guess what's going to happen next? Cornerback market's going to go up, because guess what? These guys don't be making $10 million to guard a guy that's making $26 million.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah, you have these.
The GMs have to put their foot down.
Paid. you have Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs that we were going to talk about earlier. Stephon Diggs just got 4 years. Stephon Diggs wasn't that bad. It was 4 years, $96 million, $70 million. He deserves it. Credit to him. He's been a great receiver every year.
It's still $26 million. It's still a lot of money a year. I mean, it goes towards your cap.
It's a lot of money. But like you said, this is like he deserves it. Congrats, he gets all the money that he deserves. But then you're gonna have these cornerbacks, like you just said, like Jalen Ramsey or Marshawn Lattimore already got paid. But you got these guys that are locking these guys down, and they're like, all right, well, if he's getting $96 million and I'm locking him down, I want 100.
And eventually,
this is going to be crazy.
Eventually, it's going to get to the offensive line. You're going to see these guys who are making low millions, like some make 20s, some make 7, some make 8. They're going to be like, hey, we're protecting all your asses to get the ball to you guys. We should be making the big bucks because we're the ones that are in the trenches every damn play. You know, you think about it, you get a receiver, the ball's not getting thrown to him, he goes out, he throws a little block, he runs down the field, that's it. These linemen are in a battle every freaking down, every snap of the ball. So
there should be like limits, right? Like, all right, if you put up 1,200 receiving yards in 3 years in a row, and like over 20 touchdowns, whatever the all right, you qualify for this amount.
Yeah,
like
base salary for every position.
There should be a base salary.
With incentives.
I think there needs to be a rule where owners and GMs, they don't have this freedom to just offer as much money as they can. I don't know the business side. I don't know like how this. But this can't be good for ticket prices and food prices and just the game in general. I mean, you're seeing – listen, and I'm not mad. Like, congrats to these guys.
Oh, yeah.
I would love – if I was Sean Watson, heck yeah. I don't care how bad that team is. They have to be $250 million. My family's set. My kids and grandkids are set. But as a fan, man, and as a working man, and you're a working man, and we bust our butts every single day, and we'd get – the average income is like what? 60,000 a year with how bad this housing market is. Like there's like
inflation's at 8.4%.
It's to a point where it's like, man, dude, like that's crazy, and it's only going to keep going up. And at what point is it like, all right, enough is enough?
Well, it's funny because speaking of finances and stuff like that, the Texas Rangers had opening day yesterday I think it was, and they were saying that it was a 1:00 game and they weren't even sold out. They said by the time you bought your tickets and you parked, you already spent over $400. And if it's a family, forget it. You're over $1,000. And now you get in there, you got like a $15 beer, an $8 hot dog.
Yep.
That can be somebody's whole paycheck. You're never going to see, families, a regular Joe family going to a baseball game anymore.
Because, you'll see them they'll go to the single A and double A games.
Because you can't, that is ridiculous, $40 to park. And it comes down to, that's what it all comes down to. These owners have to make their money because they're paying out the money. And in the end, it's the blue-collar workers that lose out. And if you notice, even Yankee Stadium, man, other than the bleacher creatures, you don't see behind home plate, you don't see it sold out. Those are $100,000 plus tickets for a season. You don't see the big number crowds anymore, and it's a shame. The way the market is going, it's in the way the price of living is going. People are going to be like, man, okay, are we going to a baseball game, or are we going to pay this bill this week?
Yeah, man, it's tough with everything. I'm happy gas is slowly going down, but like I said, like I think that at some point the NFL and maybe even the government, they need to say like, yo, like these athletes. I get it. They're putting a lot on their body, but I don't think it will. It's a business. I don't think it will ever happen.
It got to come down to one thing. It has to come down to the GMs. The GMs have to say enough's enough. They all have to agree, and this is it. This is how we're going to do it. Or the NFL commissioner and the Players Association have to come up with, damn straight they're never going to agree because every year the salary cap goes up, except for if it's a COVID year. But the thing is I agree with like the NBA has max contract deals. Like why they should be an incentive. Okay, quarterbacks. If you're in a quarterback for 3 years, okay, you're at $30 million. If you throw 5 touchdowns, all the incentives are based off what the organizations want to do. But this is the base league salary across the board. 1 year, when you first come in the year, maybe it's $5 million, and you work up yearly. Your contract is yearly, just like the NBA. You get your guys making $40 million, but they've been there 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that a lot.
That'd be better. Instead of Joe Blow, who threw 3 touchdowns last year, guess what? Now I want to make $50 million. And guess what? He's going to get it because it's the next man up mentality as far as contracts. And I'm sorry, and I'm still going to say this: Dak is not worth $40 million. I'm sorry, he's not. He really isn't. Aaron Rodgers, he's not worth $50 million. You know, when 30% of your cap goes towards 2 or 3 players, it ruins the sport. It ruins the team. Cowboys had 23 free agents. We didn't even sign half of them back.
Heck, I could live a good year on $5 million.
Yeah. But
I mean, heck, we lived a good year and just on what you and mom make. You know, like you just think about the normal life.
But
like,
you change. Your lifestyle changes when you make. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, though. If you're getting $5 million, like, I don't need a big house. I don't need 12 car. I just need one car, nice car. Let me get one nice car, and I'll just pimp out a normal house.
And then all these guys that get the Rolexes and put the ice on it, by the way, you just ruined
that jewelry is expensive.
You just ruined the price, the value of that Rolex. First of all, I mean, I can show you some videos of people that have done it, and the value drops. I mean, like $300,000 Rolex, they put some ice on it, make it look all shiny. That first of all, you're putting diamonds on it that weren't even able to go into jewelry because that's how bad they were. So they just threw them on your watch, and now you just ruin the value of that watch. I can get into that whole thing. I've been watching this guy lately.
Hey, let's So then at the end of that, we were just coming back to it. Yeah, I think there needs to be a rule, and I think the Browns really screwed up for the QB market. But I thought today was the draft. I almost got a little nervous. I almost texted you. I was like, "Hey, we're not potting today," because I saw like some stupid
I think it's
thing.
next Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the 28th, I think, and I think that's 2 weeks away. But what's I don't know if we talked about it last time. I don't think we've done a podcast in a while. But the Saints traded with the Eagles, and now we have 2 first-round picks in the top 20.
Yeah,
and
it was good for the Eagles.
Me and you were talking about this because I called you right after, and I said I'd love for the Saints. I'd love for the Saints to take a wide receiver and maybe an O lineman or a cornerback. Right?
It was bad for the Saints. But
man, every mock draft has the Saints taking a quarterback, and I'm like, yo. Like, so I'm on a fence here because I'm like, all right, I get it, right? Say Winston goes back to old Winston, which I don't think will happen. I think Dennis Allen will still do a good job. But I'm just like, they have so many ties right now to Kenny Pickett. They say the Saints are taking Kenny Pickett. It's going to happen. The top 20. And I'm just like, man, like, I just don't think we need a quarterback. We have Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton, Ian Book, Taysom Hill, that's going to be a tight end now. You are set on paper right now with a team. You go up there and get a wide receiver cornerback or wide receiver O-line in that first top 20 pick. We're a playoff team. We are a playoff team right now if Jameis is healthy and plays well just like he was last year. So, like, for us to go draft a quarterback, yes, I'd be excited because your future, if Jameis goes down again, you don't have to worry about sucking with Trevor Siemian. But what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you agree with those mock drafts? Or do you think we shouldn't?
I love mock drafts. I've always said I love mock drafts. It gets you excited. I mean, even if it's a bad mock draft, it still gets you excited, gets your mind going. The Eagles won that trade, by the way. And I'm not saying it because I'm not a Saints fan. I'm just saying
no, you're good.
The Saints gave up a first, a second, and a third for a first-round pick. So the Eagles, playing it smart, instead of paying salaries towards 3 first-round picks, they broke it up. Now they're going to have 2 first rounds this year, 2 first rounds next year. And if the Saints suck because of suspensions and whatever, it could be a top 10 pick for the Eagles next year. So that's bad in my division. The Eagles also benefit. They get 2 first-round picks this year, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the 15th and 19th maybe. I don't know. They get 2 first-round picks, plus they get 2 second-round picks. That's 4 picks to help their quarterback Jalen Hurts out. If Jalen Hurts doesn't work out this year, guess what? The Saints just gave them leverage to get a freaking quarterback next year in a better draft. So the Eagles won that draft. The Saints, if the Saints did that to move up to get offensive line, I wouldn't even say receiver. This draft is loaded receiver. You can get a good receiver in the 3rd round. But if they if they did it to get offensive line or defensive line or something like that to help them out, I applaud them 100%. But if they did that to move up to get a quarterback in this year's draft, man, that's
you
horrible.
never know because we've seen
Aaron
quarterbacks
Summers,
like Dak,
get on the
Tom
horn
Brady.
with us. What is going on in New Orleans? Because if they went up for Kenny Pickett, that's bad.
Listen, you never know. Like we said, quarterbacks can become great. We've seen it all the time. I agree with you. I think the Eagles did win that trade, but here's why I also think it's good for the Saints, because we still have a pick in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. We had multiple 2s and 3s, so I was okay with that. The reason I want a top 20 receiver is, yes, I think there's a lot of talent. Heck, Michael Thomas, we got him in the 2nd round.
Top 20 receivers take big money.
But those receivers might be deal breakers for us to be like, all right, let's go win playoffs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, our team is still set on paper to go that far. I'm intrigued. I really am. Now, here's another rumor that came out. They said that the Saints possibly might have gotten that extra first round pick to trade for DK Metcalf. And I thought
That'd be a huge pickup. DK
I thought
Metcalf and
I
Michael
thought,
Thomas.
hey, if we give up a first round pick and a second round pick, maybe like a next year or something, whatever, like, and we still have one first round pick maybe to get DK Metcalf and then give him a big contract, 100% down with that.
You don't got a first round pick next year.
No, I know. But if even if we give up both those first round picks,
you're gonna be the Rams. You're gonna be the Rams soon.
Listen, I wouldn't even care. Listen, I would be totally honest. If I had the chance now, if I knew 100% DK Metcalf would sign with us, like an extension, to give up just those first 2 round picks, those 2 first round picks, maybe like a third. Let me ask you, would you do that? Because I 100% would do that.
I would for Metcalf. Yeah, he's young.
Metcalf is he's a not many people come that size and can run that fast with how big he is. Teaming him up with Michael Thomas, and we still have
Tristan
some speedster
Hill.
guys and Alvin Kamara and
Taysom Hill. Yeah, so I mean,
that'd be huge.
I would do that. I really would. And let's face it, we talked about this from before. The NFL is different than other sports. You know, like we talked about this, the NBA, you have the first round, and that is it. Basically, everything after that, you don't know what you're getting. It's a wash. The draft in the NFL, if the Rams prove it. You don't need first round picks to compete. You pick up veterans that are good, and you get these guys in the second and third round where you're not going to have to pay them those big contracts down the road. You know what I mean? Where when
you can find lots of talent in the second, third round.
Yeah, you can. Like, I don't think you're going to see anyone take a running back in the top 10 this year. I really don't. It might be the top 20. You might not see a running back go. You're locking yourself into a huge contract for an offensive player and those top, just like quarterbacks. If you're not taking a quarterback one, I wouldn't take one in the first round because you're going to give them that guaranteed money is going to be a lot of money.
Who do you want Dallas to take in the first round?
Offensive lineman. They left Dak high and dry. I mean, you got rid of one of the best right tackles in the league. Then you let Connor Williams go, who was not bad other than his holding problem. And then
how many picks do you have? Do you have only
9.
1 pick in each round?
We have 9. I think we have 4 in the 4th round.
How many 2s do you have? Just 1?
1 or 2.
If you have 2 2s, I'd go 2 offensive linemen then receiver. I mean, that's huge. You guys lost some big offensive linemen, but you desperately need some wide receiver. There's still free agents out there, though. Like, if I'm Dallas, I'm thinking about going after Landry, maybe.
But that's the thing. Like, we're not picking anybody up. We're just letting people go.
No, I don't know what's going on.
If I'm Dallas, if it gets down to Dallas, you have to go best available. I mean, if it's a defensive player, it's defensive player. They definitely need offensive line help. They really do. I mean, they still have Connor McGovern, and they have Tristan. They have Steele stepping in.
There's still some offensive lineman free agents out there too.
Yeah, you do. But if the guy's not there that you want, I would trade out of that spot. If you can get 2 more picks, or something next year, or if let's say the Rams, they want to get back in the first round. Maybe you trade for their second round pick, or you trade out. Well, you can't trade for a future first because you won't get it to 2025. Kansas City, some of those teams that made the playoffs that want to get up into the first round. I mean, there you go. You take this year's first and maybe next year's first or next year's second or whatever. So you get 2 picks for 1. I would do it because if you're not happy with what's on that board, move out of it. Don't just take someone to take it. But offensive line, defensive tackle. That's where I'm looking.
I'm so excited. I think this is the first time I love football. Like, I love baseball. I think the reason why I really, really love to watch football is because it's once a week and you look forward to it all week. Especially because the Saints drafted someone last year in the first round. He missed all of the season. Last thing I'm going to say about the Saints is Tyrann Mathieu. A lot of people trying to get him to play in New Orleans to end his career in New Orleans. He came out. This is after he left. He said, "I don't think they need me, but it would be good to be back home and help them win." One of our older cornerbacks, Keenan Lewis, who played really well with us when we had a sucky team, he sent a long message on Twitter to him, and Tyrann Mathieu commented and everything on it. He was like, "Listen, man, like, I had a lot of money offered to me, but I took a huge pay cut to come home and play for your city." He goes, "There's something when you can come home, play for your city, and see the people you affect on the streets and the smiles you put on the face." He goes, "It is life-changing, and you should do it to end your career back home."
Yeah, but he's in contact with the Eagles.
I saw that too. Yeah,
him and the
listen,
Eagles
man.
have mutual agreement. Like they're happy with each other. So that'd be the worst thing. That would be the worst freaking thing for
Oh
for
man.
me as a Cowboys fan, because the Eagles would be automatically. And I already said it before in the last podcast or the podcast before, that the Cowboys won't win the division based off of history, because no one's won repeated in 19 years, I believe.
Yeah,
But the Eagles are going to be a tough team. They really
I think
are.
the Eagles are a tough team. Especially
If they get
Tyler
the
Matthew.
Honey
I don't think
Badger,
there's-
that's it. I'm going USFL, XFL. That's it. I'm done with
that started,
Cowboys.
by the way. The USFL started. I don't
No,
think
it
there's
starts
been a
Saturday.
free agent. I saw something where they were.
New Jersey
I don't know if it was a
Generals play this
practice
week.
run or
Yeah.
somebody played something, but I don't think there's ever been a free agent that I like. A big free agent was like, oh, I would love like that the Saints have actually gotten. So it'd be cool to see Tyron come and finish like 3 years maybe with the Saints, which because Malcolm Jenkins just retired. But I'm excited for this draft. I'm excited to see. I think that this is going to be a crazy first round. I don't know about you, but I'm looking
I'll
forward
watch
to that
it.
day.
I'll watch it because you know what? I've been watching mock drafts for the Eagles and for the Giants, and I'm telling you, man, the Eagles are going to be legit. They're going to be strong contenders, and I'm saying more than just the East. And I'm not just saying it. I hate the Eagles. I really do. But
Good team.
you look at what they're looking at potentially picking up, like defensive players from Georgia.
Those are
It's
some
got
big
me a
boys
little
from Georgia.
butthurt, man. I'm really concerned about the Cowboys doing nothing. And I mean, we got Flowers or whatever his name is. I mean, that's it. I mean, but we're
Hey,
in
yes
trouble.
or no?
We're in
Do you think
trouble.
yes or no? Do you think Jalen Hurts takes a bigger step this year or no?
I do. I think because of who he's working out with. He's working out one of the best NFL football coaches in football. I really do. Somebody out in California. I really do. I think Jalen Hurts
Is he working with Carson Palmer's brother?
No. Somebody else. I guess this guy worked with He worked with Kaepernick. He also worked with Mahomes and other quarterbacks.
Hey, how about Kaepernick throwing
Michigan.
at Michigan? What'd you think of that?
I thought
He looked good.
He was dropping dimes, and he looked good.
Listen,
I think everyone deserves a second chance.
He even said, "Listen, I'm willing to play backup."
Dude, Seattle should
And
jump all over that. Seattle should jump all over
Seattle
him as
should
their
jump
quarterback.
over it and say, "Listen, it's not a guarantee you're going to start. We're going to roll the dice with Drew Lock, but this is an open QB competition. I want to see you go out there and own this team. I want to see you have that thrive in you to say, you know what, I'm still capable to be a starter in this league."
No, teams like
I mean,
Seattle,
heck, bro.
teams like Detroit, teams like the Jets,
Detroit,
even.
yeah.
Teams like Pittsburgh. Well, Pittsburgh has Trubisky.
That's tough, Pittsburgh. That's sad.
But I'm just saying, those are teams where you bring him in as a backup. Even Carolina, bring him in as a backup and give him
Cam
a
Newton's
shot.
still a free agent too. That's crazy.
Seattle,
Too.
Seattle has Geno Smith. Okay, that's who their
That's
quarterback
it.
is right
And Drew
now.
Lock.
Yeah, so no.
I'm trying to think of who's even another team that was bad where they might have even had an option. I don't even know.
The Colts have Matt
heck,
Ryan,
even
but still, Matt Ryan's, what is he, like 39, 40? I mean,
hey, I'll tell you what. I'm excited to see how Matt Ryan performs for the Indianapolis Colts. They have they have one of the best offensive lines in the game.
he's got no receiving there. That's the problem.
He's had no offensive line help much throughout his career.
I don't know. Anyway, let's get off of football. Let's jump into the NBA. The NBA play-in games start today, a little tournament. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Brooklyn Nets. We have the Charlotte Hornets and the Atlanta Hawks kicking off too. And then in the West,
has Ben Simmons?
we have the Clippers against Minnesota Timberwolves. We have to root for Minnesota because of Ace. And then we have San Antonio going against the Pelicans.
Has Ben Simmons come back yet or no? Is that
Nope.
officially no?
Nope.
I don't want the Nets. I just want to say out there to all those people that ranted all year about how good LeBron James is. Look at this. He's scoring the most points. Now, screw you. Embiid scored the most points in the league, averaged the most points in the league this year. I'm happy about that. I think LeBron is a good ball player, but I think that the Lakers were a terrible, terrible situation this year, and they fired their coach again.
Coach was
which
one of
is
the
a bunch
best.
of-
Coach was a really good coach too.
There's a couple people. I think it was either Shaq or it was Charles Barkley. They were talking about how that was a stupid decision.
LeBron James
and
got
then
every single one of his coaches fired except for two of them, and the one in Miami didn't get fired because Pat Riley said no to James. I mean, he is a coach killer no matter where he goes.
I love how the Lakers are already interviewing a coach, and like you see like underneath it, like LeBron James is very enthusiastic about this coach. But we see that all the time. You go on Instagram, the only thing you ever see on NBA is all about the Lakers, man.
Let LeBron James coach the team. Let him be a player coach. He's a horrible GM, but there's a lot.
He came out and said we were. He was talking about Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis, and he was just talking about like. We weren't good this year because, we didn't play together. They had more. I think the stat was that they had more different starting lineups than starters this year or something like that, or wins. What the heck? I wish I remembered it, but like they have had so many different starting lineups this year.
The one guy said they changed their lineup more than they changed their underwear. That's horrible. Dude, but they said this had problems started with Westbrook way back in camp when the coach Vogel was telling them, like, we're going to do a fast break, run and gun kind of a team. And they said, whoever gets the ball, dribble it up court. And Westbrook said, no, man, no, I'm the point guard. The ball goes through me. Right then and there, you have a problem. And that's when LeBron James, as the captain of the team, should have jacked him up against the wall and said, look, dude, no, that's not how it's going to be. You're going to follow the leader or you're out. They gave him too much freedom.
I think that stat, by the way, because you just jogged my memory, I think it was like they had more starting lineups than wins this year, and that just shows you, was LeBron's strategy wrong? I don't even know if it's LeBron's strategy of like who he recruited. We'll never know. We'll never know how good it could have been because nobody could stay healthy.
He turned down DeRozan for freaking Westbrook. That's horrible.
Westbrook, man, like he's so interesting because I think personally, Westbrook can be a very good basketball player. I think he's not the greatest shooter from the three, but he's a guy that will go out there and he'll grind for you and he'll get you some points.
Anyway, I seriously, it doesn't matter who wins or loses tonight because if Cleveland or Brooklyn loses, they play the winner of the second game, which is Charlotte and the Hawks. I want the Nets to lose. I want the Nets to lose in the worst way. I want Seth Curry and them to have a lot of fun playing because I really like Seth Curry and Drummond and all them, but I want them eliminated. That's the team that I'm really afraid of, and if they get on a hot streak, whoever wins this goes against Boston. So I'm afraid of the Nets.
I'd love to see Charlotte win, especially with Ball. I'd love to see how he plays in the playoffs.
Well, I don't want the Hawks there because I just can't stand them. I don't mind Cleveland. I like Cleveland.
Trae Young, man.
I don't like him. I can see the Hornets are Cleveland. I would like to see one of them get in. And then on the West, I don't think the Clippers have Kawhi back, so that doesn't matter for them. But everyone's picking the Clippers over Minnesota. But I actually want to see the Pelicans get in. I really do. I want to see the Pelicans get in. I do too.
I've seen Aaron Summers posting on Instagram all over the place, and I've been watching closely on the updates of how they've been playing. And Zion, they've been playing hard.
Zion's been playing 5-on-5 pickup and looking really, really good. So that's got to be a big welcome sight for next year.
Imagine he comes back for playoffs and make a big push.
No, he's done for this year. But that would be awesome. And I think it was Drew Holiday. I think he got like a huge bonus for playing in like 60-plus games this year. So he literally went in the game for like 5 minutes and then sat right back down again. So it's just like, here I am, bang, give me that check, ding, 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 and sat down again. But the playoffs do, after this, they do kick off, and we talked about this before.
The atmosphere is amazing.
Sixers are going to Toronto, and Matisse Thybulle is the only one on the Sixers who cannot play in Game 3 and 4, or 4 and 5, one of those up in Toronto.
He's not vaccinated?
No, and
it's okay, neither am I.
I know, it sucks because he's one of our best defensive players on the team. And the Sixers head-to-head this year against Toronto lost 3-1. Toronto is a very, very dangerous team. They have Siakam. They have a bunch of guys up there that are really, really good. Sixers just don't play well against them. This is going to be a telling tale for James Harden because, let's face it, they say he never shows up in the playoffs. He's always been bad in the playoffs. So
when's our first game?
I'm not sure. It's after this play-in tournament, so I'm not sure. I think Saturday.
I love NBA playoffs, man. I'm so fun. Can I just a little sidetrack real quick? Where did COVID go?
It's back. Philadelphia is actually bringing back the mandates.
You know what? Like it's crazy. Like I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I don't really watch a lot of social media. It's like, man, I moved down to Florida. I haven't heard anything about COVID. I did. Granted, what you just said is I just heard from someone the other day that they were saying like they heard it spiking a little bit. But man, I just think this is some stupid stuff, man. I'm not going to get into it. But I was just thinking the other day, I was like, bro, where did COVID go? Because I haven't seen a TikTok. I haven't seen Instagram, bro. I haven't heard squat
well, the
about anything.
midterm elections are coming up, so we'll hear about it. So, yeah.
And, like, it's like we're all living normal. I don't see people dying. I don't see anybody around me getting sick.
Well, there is a
new
new variant.
I'm sneezing from dust.
There is a new variant here, and they're really concerned about this one. I know. It's. By the way, the Nets are up 19-13 on the Cavaliers, but yeah, it's Philadelphia's going back into full mask mandate again, so it's gonna be.
It's so stupid. These masks don't do squat.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the NBA. The Raptors and Sixers play Saturday at 6 p.m. I'm gonna say everyone's picking the Sixers in 7, and I think if it goes 7, that's really gonna be bad for the Sixers because you don't want to have a long first round.
I'm saying
playoffs.
Sixers in 4.
Good luck with that. I'm actually going the other way.
Hot take.
I think the Raptors. Whoa. I think the Raptors in 6. I honestly do.
Man.
Look, I'm the only one of our podcast group and Noah and Rudy and our crew that said the Sixers don't have shooters, and it's been shown a lot lately. You know, one guy gets hot, the other ones aren't, and I think that is going to be our Achilles heel. I think when you have Niang and you have other guys like Danny Green who are missing 3-pointers on the regular, you have Maxey who's good one day and then he's not another. James Harden, it's to be determined what he does in the playoffs.
Gonna turn it on in the playoffs.
But I'm telling you right now, you know, and look, and I'll happily be wrong if I'm wrong, but I just don't think the Sixers get out of the first round, and I don't think James Harden is going to be a Sixer next year because he didn't sign his extension.
Do me a favor, put on that wonderful Sixers hat that I bought you for your birthday, and cheer on your Sixers.
I'm going to cheer them on.
James Harden's going to play well. Maxey's going to play well. We're gonna have Embiid's going to go off. I don't know if we'll win the championship, right? We're going to go far.
Look, I'm just telling you, as a past coach, you know, you have the eye candy here.
Here we go, past coach.
You always focus on things. And I'm just telling you, you know, you watch certain teams that have no problems hitting outside shots, and then we struggle with it. We really do. And when Embiid gets to the line, I mean, he gets points, but he misses a lot of open shots too. He depends on getting fouled. I just think it's going to be a tough series, but it would not surprise me to see the Sixers lose in 6. I'm just being honest with you.
I know, I totally agree with you. I think the last month of basketball, we've had our ups and downs with how we've shot and the consistency of shooting with Maxey especially and Harden. But I think we'll be good. I think
Niang will shoot 10 times.
Yang comes in clutch. He comes in clutch.
He'll shoot 10 3-pointers. He'll make 2 out of 3, but it's always the 2 that are clutch at the end. But there's guys like Korkmaz who doesn't get the opportunity. Korkmaz was getting hot. I mean, he needs to get in there and let him play a little bit. I mean, that guy can live and die from the 3. He's a good shooter. Maxey's going to be the key, man. And Tobias Harris, he's been hot lately too. If you can get Maxey, Tobias Harris, Harden, and Embiid to average over 15 points, it gives us a chance. But if you're just putting it in 2 players' hands, and one of them who doesn't show up in the playoffs, Sixers are done. Joel can't carry the whole team.
I really think the main key is, as I think we all know Embiid's going to stay hot. I think it's Harden. I think if Harden comes out, and I think if he makes his shots, you know, and you allow Maxey and Tobias to contribute. But I think I think Harden really needs to step up his threes and making them. I think if he's hitting threes and he gets hot where they're like, all right, we need to start doubling him, that's going to give Maxey and Tobias and Embiid these open shots, and that's where it will turn it all on, and we'll be like, all right, we got a good chance here.
Embiid is going to be good. He's going to give us what he's going to get. He hasn't had an injury yet. That's my biggest concern. Harden is the A-Rod, like the Yankees A-Rod, of the NBA. He never shows up for the playoffs, and that's just past history. This is a new year. I hope to God that he does become hot. We need him. We need Harden. We need Maxey. We need all these guys to step up. We cannot have no slacking whatsoever. We can't have. This is the kind of team, Toronto, that can turn it on quick. They're young and gun, and they really have nothing to play for, and they're good. Look, they won the championship a couple years ago. So they know how to do it. I just hope the Sixers can, and it's going to come down to shooting. I mean, it's pretty bad.
I agree.
We're even getting out rebound. So I mean, the thing's got to turn around for this team. And I agree. That's the one thing that that aggravated me the other night watching the Sixers. You know, they come down, they shoot these fast 3-pointers. There's nobody underneath there rebounding at all. You know, so you got to play different basketball. And I think Doc Rivers is on the hot seat if they don't go far in the playoffs. I really do.
No, I think he's done more than Brown has done. I mean, this is what, his second year?
Doesn't matter. I mean, there's already rumors of him going to the Lakers. So I mean, he's one of the ones they were interested in. So I just think, you know, he's been there enough that he has the talent there. We just don't show up in the playoffs, and that's what's going to come down to. I think we need to be better in the playoffs. And the Nets are up now 23-14. Another team I feel bad for is the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, they lost Luka Doncic, who might be out for the whole playoffs. I mean, that guy was playing in the last game of the year with 2 minutes to go and has a hamstring strain. They're going against.
He's like literally their best player.
They're going against the Utah Jazz. I mean, I think the Utah is going to beat them in 5 if Luka doesn't play.
I agree. There's a lot of good games, and you said some of them start today, right?
Yep. You got the Cavs and the Nets playing now, and then you have the Clippers and Timberwolves later on, and then you have the Hornets and the Hawks tomorrow, and the Spurs and Pelicans tomorrow. So
the Nets are winning right now?
Nets are up by 9 right now, yep. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm not feeling very confident in the Sixers.
Let me slide over and tell you some baseball news I heard. And I don't know I don't know how true this is. I'm pretty sure it's true. I heard a couple different videos on it. But listen to this, right? Albert Pujols. Let me know if you heard this or not. But what I heard, and this is terrible if it's true. What I heard is Albert Pujols, his wife, I think, just got diagnosed with like brain cancer or some kind of cancer. And out of nowhere, he's like, all right, I'm getting divorced. Right before opening day, right after his wife was diagnosed.
That's horrible if that's
with
the case.
Some kind of cancer.
That's horrible if that's the case.
And don't get me wrong, maybe they had some problems before that where he was like, you know what, I'm gonna get divorced. But bro, like your wife just got diagnosed with some kind of terrible. Look it up on your computer while I'm talking. But
nah, I don't care about that.
I heard that the other day. I was like, bro, if that is true, that is some terrible stuff if you put on you.
Boy, karma is going to be knocking on his door, man. He's never going to get a hit this year in baseball. He's going to have an injury that takes him out or something. But speaking of baseball, let's talk about one of the hottest rookies in baseball right now, Stephen Kwan, who has been on base 15 times in the first 4 games. The guy has.
What team's that?
He plays for the Guardians, Cleveland. He got 6 doubles. 6 singles, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 5 walks, and that was just in the opening series. This guy is amazing. He's done something that hasn't been done since, I think, 1901. I'm happy for rookies. I really am. These young kids that are stepping up and getting their groove on and getting their chance to play. I think the New York Yankees need to take note of this and start doing the same thing because we have a lot of guys that in the minors, especially at the shortstop position, that can come up and take advantage of what's going on.
Honestly, I forgot about the Guardians, man. But there's a lot of young guys that was that Whitman Jr. I think for the Royals. I saw him make an amazing play from third base the other day to stop the win and run from home. There's a lot of young guys that are playing well. I saw that there was one guy. I want to think it was some white team. I think it was Detroit. He hit a home run his first at bat in the MLB, and his dad was like crying and stuff. Man, I love when you see stuff like that too.
Well, we've had a text chain going lately, and of course, you know, as diehard Yankee fans, we're already giving them a little bit, and we need to. And I know you said today it's too early, it doesn't really matter, but it does matter. You know, you're losing to division rivals. That's going to affect you one way or another. You don't want to fall behind the 8 ball.
I'm not talking about the wins or the losses. I'm just talking about some of these guys you guys are coming after. I'm like, bro, it's cold in New York. It's 4 games into the season.
It's not cold in New York.
It's rare. They were licking their fingers just the past 2 night games. It's chilly. Come on, look at you. Look at you. You're wearing a little hoodie right now. It's cold at night.
No, it's not, dude. It's in the 70s right now. It's actually beautiful.
Yeah, during
outside.
the day.
Look, the Yankees' problem is, and this is the problem, and we have a lot of big names and a lot of big names that can hit. That's the problem. We have a lot of guys that can come up and hit you a home run, but then strike out 5 times. That is the problem with the Yankees. We are already in the top 5 of people left on base. I think we're averaging 8 players a game left on base. The other day we had bases loaded twice and we only drove in 2 runs. It can't happen. You need clutch hitting. and we're not getting it. You got Higgy, and Rudy is absolutely right. Higgy, he's batting .091. You have Anthony Rizzo, who's batting .250. You have Torres, who's batting .200.
Anthony Rizzo's been clutch for us lately, though.
He's batting .250. You have IKF, who's Connor Falefa, who's batting .91. You have Donaldson, who's batting .250. Gallo's batting .231. Gallo just got 2 hits last night. He has 3 hits on the season, and he only had 2 last night. Judge is falling. He's at .250. Giancarlo is the only one that's really doing anything. DJ LeMahieu, who's batting almost under 1. I mean, he's batting 1 right now. Jose Trevino's batting .333, and Marwin Gonzalez is batting .500. The Yankees are in trouble if we don't hit. Because when you have the opportunity to score runs, you have to get runs in. One way or another. Put the ball in play. You got to get runs in, and we're not.
I totally agree with you that on that part. I agree that when there's runners in scoring position, you need to score. I think us diving down and breaking down people's stats. So you have people like Gleyber Torres, Josh Johnson, DJ LeMahieu. Those guys aren't playing every day. We have so many utility guys that someone's sitting every game, right? So, yeah, I think if you're batting under 100 right now, you're struggling. Higgy was so hot in spring. I think he's trying to show that off again. And in the regular season, he's not.
DJ LeMahieu has played in every game. He's been in 4 games already.
But I think for us to 4 games into the season say, wow, this guy can't hit right now. Like, bro, it's 4 games into the season. Like, you got to find your groove. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. They're pros. I mean, you brought up Anthony Rizzo. I think Anthony Rizzo's been clutch so far. He's had 2 home runs already that have been huge for us.
He's
playing great at first.
He's got 3 hits. He's 3 for 12.
4 games.
3 for 12.
4 games. Give it a week or give it another week or 2.
Rizzo's good because he walks. Him and Gallo walk. That's the thing.
They're not even showing 2022 stats yet when guys walk up to the box. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're just starting to do that this week. Like, I just think for us to dive into this.
What do you want to know? Kyle Higgy has
11
at bats,
I'm
1
just
hit.
saying, like, I think we're so early right now. Like give them 2 weeks to get into a groove. And okay, next podcast, if they're not in a group, yeah, they're struggling now. Like now we should think about it.
But these are games you really don't want to fall behind. You don't want to fall behind Toronto. You don't want to fall behind Tampa Bay. These are teams you have to split the series with. I mean, 100%. They should have swept Boston, and we didn't. Our starting pitching, we're not even getting through the 4th inning with our pitchers. Our bullpen has been carrying us.
I totally agree with you. I don't want to lose to division games, but man, this is the first week of baseball. Like, I just want to be able to evaluate for the first 2 weeks at least and say, all right, now I got a good idea of who's playing well and who's not.
Dude, our team batting average is .214.
Okay, I think it's a little early. That's just my personal opinion.
Look, I'm just saying that you can have that excuse all you want, but when you're 10 games out of first place by June, you're in trouble, and that could very easily happen.
Listen, we still got May and June, so I just think it's so early that. What?
You're right. It is early. But you still have to be concerned. I mean, even the Dodgers. Yeah. I mean, the Dodgers went from number 1 overall in the power rankings to 27th in 1 week.
And man, and I totally agree. Like, I love baseball. I love the Yankees. Like, I love sitting on here and point out the struggles with you guys. I just think it takes guys a little bit to get hot. I mean, heck, they were in Florida and Arizona. It's warm. You said 70 degrees today, but man, dude, some of those night games I'm watching, the ball looks cold. It takes a little bit to get in the groove.
Give me the Texas Rangers batting with our pitching and our bullpen, and we'll be undefeated right now. The Texas Rangers have no pitching, but they're second in runs scored. They got screwed. They got screwed.
Get that hit with the broken bat.
No, but they got screwed last night because of that slide at second base where they called the guy out, which was BS. But it's a rule. It's like the catch rule in football, the Dez catch. But the thing is, Ty, is the nice thing is we have these beautiful names on paper, but the problem is we have a lot of strikeouts on this team, and that's the thing that's going to eventually kill us because we need those clutch hits. Even Judge isn't getting the clutch hits. Donaldson, I don't know. I think it's time where we have to start calling some of these younger guys up and see what they can do for us because names don't win you games, and that's what it's coming down to. These names, they're fancy. It looks like an all-star team, but it's a bunch of home runs or strikeouts. Give me line drive hitters.
I'll get back to you in 2-3 weeks. I like the team on paper right now. I like the lineup. I think we have a lot of players that can move around and hit. Donaldson had a clutch walk-off hit in the first game. I think our defense is great. I need a little time to evaluate the team.
Well, you have all season, so we'll figure it out. But
what do you think about?
I'm not happy.
What do you think about the new MLB pitcher and catcher? The way they're communicating now with the whole wrist thing and the earpiece and the pitcher, and they press a little button.
I love it. I think it's good. It hasn't been any problems with it. I think it's good for the sport. I notice our catchers have it on their knee, so it's on their thigh, so they're actually doing it there. I've seen where some have it on their wristband. I love it. There's no delays. You don't see guys shaking off pitches. They're just doing their thing and going to work. I think it's good. I think it's good for the game.
It's intriguing, right? I actually I messaged a couple of the minor league pitchers that we had on the podcast. Some of them didn't really know a lot about it because I think it was tested out in single A. But I agree with you. I have like mixed feelings because I feel like I think
the thing that's gonna suck though is it's gonna be tough for the broadcasters because the broadcasters are usually calling out pitches and stuff like that. Yeah,
and that's my thing, man. It's just like I like the old school ways, and I feel like we're trying to get rid of a lot of old school ways. Don't get me wrong, I don't like cheaters, but it was my goal when I play baseball. If I get on second base, if I can easily look at your sign and be like, all right, he's not changing his signs because I'm on second base, and I somehow can like let my batter know like, hey, fastball's coming. Like I just think that's part of the game. That's the one side that I'm a part of, but I get it. There's a lot of cheating going on with all these cameras now, and I do like it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I just also like the old school ways. So like I'm mixed feelings on it. It's pretty cool. It seems like it's working really well. It is speeding the game up a little bit. They're always trying to speed the game up.
Dude, I'm looking at the Yankee schedule. They don't have a day off until the 18th of April. They played Toronto. They played Toronto 3 more times. Then they go to Baltimore. They play 3 in Baltimore. They're 3 in Baltimore. Then they go to Detroit for 3. Then they go home for.
Detroit looks good.
They got 3 against Cleveland. Then they got 3 more against Baltimore. Then they play Kansas City. Then they go to Toronto. They got to play Toronto. Then they go from Toronto back home to play Texas. Then they play Toronto again. Dude, that's key. Like you have to, and I know you're saying it's early, but you have to split with Toronto this series because you don't want to be 4 games behind them and then play all these so-called scrub teams and you hopefully win those series to go back to play Toronto again. And Toronto's one of those teams, man. They look good. They're solid, man. They were down 7-0.
Their defense, man. Their defense is stellar.
Dude, they have a tough out everywhere you look. There's a tough out everywhere. I mean, and they were down 7-0 opening day against Texas, and they came back and won. This team's no joke. And
I think they have a couple of guys in there that could possibly get MVP this year.
And their one loss they had was against Texas, and they were up 4-0 in that game, and Texas came back and won that game. But Toronto and Texas are the top 2 scoring teams in the league right now. So my whole key is I know it's early, but these are the games. These division games are the important games because I'm telling you right now,
and I agree with you, especially those next couple of series you're talking about. It sounds like we played like 3 more times, especially as you get into the season. You need to split. Like, I agree with you on that.
The Yankees are not going to win this division, and I said that earlier. This is Toronto or Tampa Bay's division. The Yankees are going to be one of the wild cards.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I think I want to win the division, but as long as I can make playoffs, man. Heck, Boston looks good too. I mean, I know we beat them 2 out of the 3, but I mean, there's a lot. You got to think with the new rules. I think everybody but the Orioles would have made playoffs last year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Toronto missed. They had 91 wins, but they missed.
No, I'm saying with the new rule this year.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're taking an extra wild card team, so yeah, definitely.
By the way, did they get rid of the shift? Because I've seen teams shifted.
Yeah, no, that's not gone yet. So, wow. One of the good things is Tampa Bay is losing right now to Oakland. So the Yankees need to stay. They need to keep ground. They gotta keep ground with those 2 teams, man. You don't want to fall behind early. But
no, I agree, man. I'm so happy baseball's back. Trout looks good. Just seeing some of these guys that have been injured playing. A lot of Detroit. It's cool. Javier Baez, man, he looks good, dude. And I know we talked about it earlier, but man, Minnesota, they have to have the best offseason that they've probably had in the longest time. Just some of the names they have on that team. It's
Sanchez,
exciting, man.
Urshela.
I mean, Buxton's playing well. He had a home run already. Gray hit a home run.
The other night they had like 5 home runs in the team. Gary had his home run, and Rudy is all happy.
I'm sorry, Rudy. I just don't think Gary's still going to be. Well, don't get me wrong. He's showing us how good he is.
He's a good DH.
How many times did we see that with the Yankees, where Gary would go like on a great 10-game hitting streak and then
still bat 220
down to 100 again?
Yeah. We don't need home runs, Rudy. We need base hits. That's what we need. We have enough home run strikeout guys. So we need whatchamacallit. We need clutch hitters. That's what we need. Bring back the good old days.
We also needed a catcher that could actually catch. We also needed someone that could catch.
We need George Steinbrenner to come back from the grave and kick his sons in the ass and say, "Start spending, you idiots." But that's all I got, Ty, for tonight, Ty. That's it.
I can. At least we hope you're enjoying your time off, because we really hope that you're listening to this podcast, Ace. We got to cheer for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ace is cheering for that. You know who's going to be good? I wanted to say this in my hot take earlier, man. I think we talked about it on the phone the one day. The Phillies, man.
Phillies going to be good.
They have some serious talent on that team. I mean, you got such powerful hitters in Hoskins, Schwarber, Castellanos, Bryce Harper. Heck, Didi Gregorius can hit. JT Realmuto, bro, like
did you see their third baseman had like 3 errors in one game when he goes, "I hate this place."
And then he made one and the crowd started cheering. He goes, "I happen to hate this place."
Yeah, but then he came out. He confessed. He didn't sugarcoat it. He said, "Yeah, I said it. In the heat of the moment, I said it, and I love this place. I want to play here." But Phillies fans
year.
Are tough.
He was playing good when he got called up, man, and then he started getting the yips where he would make routine errors. And dude, let me tell you. Hearing those fans boo you, man, that probably gets on your skin quick. Like a ball hits you, like, oh God, don't screw up. But I'm telling you, man, like the Phillies on paper, they have Zach Wheeler, don't they? They have Zach Wheeler.
They're good.
I really can't. I can't name most of their starting pitching, but
if their bullpen holds up, they're going to be solid. I mean, and I said it before off the air between me, you, and other people. The American League East and the National League East are the 2 best divisions in baseball. That's going to be a horse race.
Last thing I'll hit you with before we end this podcast is I saw an interview with Bryce Harper, and they asked him about the teams he was interviewing with when he was a free agent, and he said one thing that was shocking is the Yankees. He said the Yankees never reached out to him, and that shocked me because obviously when him and Manny Machado were free agents, everybody was like, "Oh, the Yankees are definitely in on this." Also, I think I just saw a report where it said the Yankees never. I think I just saw a report where it said the Yankees never even offered Freddie Freeman a contract. Like everybody was like, "Oh my God, they're in for Freddie Freeman," and then these reports came out where Freddie Freeman was like, "They never even talked to me."
Yankees don't do 10-year contracts, and Bryce got 12. Yankees do not do 10-year contracts.
I'm
anymore.
Just like, bro, like imagine Bryce Harper playing for the Yankees right now. I'm happy he's in Philly though. He looks good in the red uniform.
Yeah, Yankees don't do 10-year contracts, and that's one of the holdups for Judge. I mean, they offered Judge $27.5 million, $213 million. Oh, and
there's something wrong where he didn't take that. Like, why wouldn't he have taken that?
He wants big money, so you know what? He's gonna be 30 years old. He should have taken it. He would have been the highest ever paid Yankee, and he said no to it. So now he's gonna be interviewed by 30 teams. And he said the Yankees be one of them. Look, if he doesn't come back, bye. I don't care. I really don't care. Let him go somewhere else. His career.
I care. I like him.
I do too. I do like him, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's about the money. So the money's gonna take you where it takes you. And this Steinbrenner family doesn't want to spend. And it's not Cashman. You can't blame Cashman because at the end of the day, it comes down to the 2 kids. So it is what it is. But
it is what it is, man.
I can't wait. It's getting nice here. It's going to be almost 80 tomorrow. I'll be doing podcasts outside on the deck.
Been nice here for a while.
So I'm glad. I'm glad.
They were saying next month, man, get ready because apparently it's been really nice here past couple weeks. Like not hot, like nice. And they were like, get ready. Next month, man, you're not going to want to be outside.
Oh, yeah, I was like, you do construction. Good luck with that. I already told you what you need to do. You better start doing it. This kid's going to baseball games and just drinking like a couple of things of water. You're going to get heat stroke fast.
Hey, for those listening, though, I did pitch my debut for my team. I pitched 2 innings with 0 earned runs.
You better start going outside without those sunglasses on, dude. You're looking like a freaking thief. Look at you.
Hey, man, listen, I was at the beach on Saturday. I got burnt. And,
you're gonna go driving by Donald Trump's house taking videos. You're gonna say, "Yeah, some guy with a red mask just drove by taking photos again." So you
Hey
better
man,
work
the
on
water
that.
was so weird because the water came up to your hip bone, but you could walk, man, like 20 yards out, and it wasn't getting any deeper. I was like, and
Dude, that's what sharks
with my
are.
girl, I'm with my girlfriend, like, and I'm like, yo, I'm getting like this eerie feeling, like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore.
Dude,
Like, even though like
that's
I'm
where
only
all
up
the
to my
shark
hip, I'm like,
attacks
yo,
are.
I'm pretty deep out, yo, and then my leg starts stinging, bro. Like my right
Jellyfish.
leg, I couldn't open it, like it stung, and I had this
Jellyfish.
mark there.
Jellyfish.
But I wouldn't I have been in more pain. I would
No,
have had a scar or something, like some
no,
kind of
you don't get a
mark.
scar. I mean, but you're gonna be stinging. It's gonna be fucking bad. You better get someone to urinate on that.
Bro, I was sitting there and I think she thought I was like kidding or something. And I sat in the water. I'm like,
That's why I don't go in
it
the
felt
water.
like someone was pinching my leg, and I was like, dang. And I'd go to walk and I'd stop. I was like, dang, man.
Sand fleas. That's why I don't mess with the ocean, man. There's too many critters in it that can end your day. Shark
Water was
Week.
so clear though.
Shark Week. Go watch Shark Week with Florida. Look at all the sharks that migrate there. They got great white sharks and everything down there. You're out there.
You know what I don't like,
guarantee you,
though?
you're not bright. You're probably standing next to someone with a fishing pole and a bait bag in the water saying, hey, did you catch anything today?
Yeah. You know what I don't like though is every time I go on TikTok now because I live in Florida, I see these TikTok videos of alligators, man. And I just saw one the other day. I don't know where it was in Florida. It's got to be close. And they were on a kayak, right? And I've heard people say there's intercoastals here that you can kayak in, and sometimes there's gators. And this guy's on a kayak, man, and he passed the bush. And when I tell you, there was just a gator sunbathe. Like this thing was the size of a bus.
Oh, yeah.
I think I would pass out of fear.
Dude, don't go in the water down there. I'm telling you, if you want to go in the water, go in the pool, check the water first, man. You got that nice, beautiful swimming pool. I don't know why you're going into the ocean. There ain't nothing there for you.
Yo, last thing I'm gonna tell you, I promise you, I'm sitting on the baseball field the other day, and we saw a couple big lizards, right? And I'm on deck, so we're getting ready to run.
Park and
Bro,
shit down there.
I see this thing running in the outfield, like on the other side of the fence. I'm like,
Probably
wow,
giraffe.
that's a small dog running, right? And I'm like, wait a minute, that dog is running funny. Like, you know, dogs, they run two paws. This thing, I'm like, bro, that's a lizard. That thing was the size of a dog,
Oh, yeah,
man.
dude, they got freaking big lizards down there. They got freaking monkeys down there in certain parts that got out of the airport. They got snakes bigger than houses. You got alligators. You got pumas. You got panthers. Dude, that's why I'm up here in Pennsylvania. We got black bears. That's it, and they don't even come around you. Up here, I can dominate everything.
Huge,
you don't got
man.
you don't got anything. You don't got lizards that freaking are the size of cars. Yep, you need to get out of Florida. Come home. Your bedroom's still available. Come on home.
Yeah, I know you guys have been throwing stuff there, but we hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast and hear our lovely voices. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't think Ace will be here next week,
Oh, he better.
and we hope he's enjoying his time, because there was a lot of times that we would take weeks off because it's tough to do it every week.
It is, but you know what? You going on hiatus for a little bit. He went on hiatus. Guess what? I'm going on hiatus too.
I didn't go on no hiatus.
I got vacation coming up in May. I'm taking a break.
Yeah, okay. Well, guys, this will be up on YouTube. This will be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can listen to our beautiful voices. Heck, even go on iHeartRadio. I think it's on there too. YouTube, it'll be everywhere. TikTok, Instagram,
Love all the
Twitter. Thank you
likes,
so much
man.
for all the follows. We guys hope you guys enjoy this, and we will catch you guys on the next podcast.
Peace.